Hi guys, my name is Brittany and welcome to my channel. I am new to YouTube, so I thought what better way to introduce you to myself than the I Teach Two tag. So this tag was started by Too Cool for Middle School is her name. She's a teacher who has a YouTube channel along with other social media, but I thought this was a really cool way for me to just start off and introduce myself to you and just take you on a journey with me. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into the questions. The first question is, what do you teach and where? So I currently teach fourth grade math and science. I'm a teacher in Ohio. So I teach fourth grade math and science in Ohio, born and raised in Ohio, and I teach here as well. Pretty simple. The second question is, how long have you been teaching? I've been teaching for 5 years. 5 complete years. So I'm going into my 6th year of teaching, which is really exciting because in that short amount of time, I've learned so much about what it really takes to be a teacher and what the job really entails. But yeah, this is gonna be my 6th year of teaching. And I guess I'll say for the first few years, I taught 5th grade. And then for the past couple of years, I've taught 4th grade. The third question is, did you always know you wanted to be a teacher? And I would say yes and no. So I've always wanted to do many things, and I still want to do those things and will do those things. But teaching was always one of those things. So if I could have it my way in a perfect world, I would do a bunch of different things at once. But teaching was always something that always sat with me. When I was in college, I switched my major probably 3 different times. But the interesting part about that is every time it involved education. And so I always knew to some degree that I would be a teacher. And so I guess, yeah, from the time that I was in kindergarten, I knew that I was going to be a teacher. The next question is, what is your typical teacher OOTD? So typically, so at my school, I'm not allowed to wear jeans. I know, unless there's a special day, we're not allowed to wear jeans as teachers. And so I stick with the typical outfit, either pants, a dress, or skirt, typically flats, unless I wear like a wedge or something like that to give me a little bit of height. I'm not that short, but just to give me a little more height. One store that I really, really love, and I don't know if this store is located in other places, but it's called Clothes Mentor. So basically, I'm a bargain shopper, always have been, probably always will be, and I don't mind secondhand either. Clothes Mentor is a place where you can go to get professional clothes at discount price because it's consignment essentially. And so I get pretty much good brands from Clothes Mentor. And stuff that's a little bit more heavy, better quality for a cheaper price. And so I kind of keep it like, you'll see, like if you think of like the Loft style or New York and Company, if I have a picture, I'll put one in. If not, I'll do an OOTD video. But yeah, my typical teacher outfit of the day, it really varies. And I like to be a little bit more jazzy and things like that. So I like to keep it young. I'm not old. I don't want to be like frumpy. So anyway, my style ranges really, but I usually go to Clothes Mentor to get my stuff. The next question is question 5. What do you usually bring for lunch? So recently I have started meal prepping, and that has been my saving grace. We all know as teachers during the school year, we get so busy in the evenings. I sometimes don't even get home till 7:30. So for me, I found at the end of the year that meal prepping was like the easiest thing. So I'll prep 2 or 3 different meals for the week, freeze them, and just pack that as my lunch. If I don't do that, then I will usually get some sort of like lean cuisine, something that's quick, or I'll just pack my leftovers. I don't have something that I typically eat every day. I get bored really easily. So I can't eat the same thing every day. It would drive me crazy. Um, but yes, I usually do eat something simple, something light. Thankfully, I have a full about 40 to 45 minutes of lunch every single day. Just lunch. I usually only spend about 20 minutes of it eating between everything that we have to take care of. But that's what I typically eat. And here lately, I've been trying to get better at like snacking since my plan period falls at a good time where I have good breaks throughout the day. I'm trying to get better at snacking. So I'm not basically eating so much at lunch, but it really just depends on what I have for either dinner that night or what I've meal prepped for the week. Question 6, what is one of your favorite books about teaching? Okay, so just like Too Cool for Middle School, her YouTube, she mentioned the book, Get the Molasses Out of Your Classes. I'm actually in the process of reading that, so I thought that was pretty cool that there are other teachers reading that. So I can't really give a good review about it. But one book that's actually not even specific to teaching, but actually transformed the way that I spend my day is this book called No Excuses by Brian Tracy. So it's The Power of Self-Discipline. And basically, this book is a great book because it helped me to think about what am I doing during my plan period? What am I doing before I get to school? What am I putting off? Because we all know as teachers, there's always a never ending list of things to do until summer. Um, Even then, there's always stuff to do, but this book has helped me kind of figure out how to prioritize my time. So it's been one that I kind of just obviously transformed into my life and obviously my career. So I love it. So this is one of them. And just to kind of get into a different book, one book that I'm going to read is this one. Why Are All the Black Kids Sitting Together in the Cafeteria? This book was recommended by me to me from a facilitator that at a training that I did over the summer, and I'm really excited to read it. Obviously, I'm an African American woman, I'm a Black woman, and I'm a Black teacher. And I teach at a school that is predominantly white, and there are different racial and ethnic groups at my school. But this is just a great book, I think, for anyone to read, whether you have a lot of students of color or not. So I'm excited to get into this one because I've heard really great reviews about it. But one of my one book that's definitely transformed my teaching, and actually it's more like a training, Responsive Classroom. So Responsive Classroom is a book that was actually really hard for me to wrap my head around, and actually a program that was really hard for me to wrap my head around because I've been so used to assertive discipline, which I'll get into, I guess, later on with another question, but I've been so used to assertive discipline. And this book kind of taught me how to transform my teaching and my practices so that the school year is much more productive and a safe space for students. But with the Responsive Classroom, there's a book called The First 6 Weeks of School. There's another book, and I cannot think of the name. If I do think about it, I'll put it down below. There's another book, Harry Wong, I think is what his name is. And I know that's a funny name, right? But this book is kind of like that, but it's based off of the Responsive Classroom model. And it just basically gives you a guide as to how to start the school year off responsively. And for the first 6 weeks, what can you do to make sure that you constantly have a classroom that is a safe space and responsive to the needs of your children. So this model can actually be applied across many different many different ways. So not just with, you know, discipline of the first 6 weeks, but how else are you responding in your curriculum? How else are you responding other ways? So anywho, I loved it because it's transformed the way that I teach. So this is a really good one that thankfully my whole entire school has kind of adopted. Before I came, it was already there, but yeah, I love this book. And the next question is, what is one of your favorite teacher movies? And I would definitely have to say Lean on Me is one of my favorite movies. I love that movie because I grew up in the inner city, and so some of the issues or some of the things that I saw with those students, I kind of saw myself, in that movie. And that movie is so old, but it's crazy how we can still relate to that movie, or I could still relate to that movie even when I was old enough to watch it. And I love that movie because it obviously shows the passion of just educators. And it shows too that like it really kind of shows you what you're getting into. You're not just there to teach and leave, you're there for so many other purposes. As a teacher, we know we have so many hats. So that was, I didn't know at the time that was like really what teaching might really have been like. And it is like for some teachers and for some schools. But I love that movie because of just the passion. And it's just like that was the real reason, or that is the real reason, you know, for what a lot of teachers do is just your passion for the kids and just making it centered on those babies. So anyway, I could go on a rant forever about Lean on Me. I might actually watch it after. Well, maybe not. It's a little emotional, but I love that movie. I love Lean on Me. So with Morgan Freeman, yeah, that was one of my favorite movies. Number 8, who was your favorite teacher? So, oh my gosh. So, who was my favorite teacher? It's hard because I have so many. I have so many teachers. So I'm going to start with kindergarten. I love my teacher. I don't know if you're out there, Miss Beach, but I love you. She was my kindergarten teacher, and I admired her so much. And I think more than anything, I saw her belief in me, and she really poured into me at like 5 years old. Like, I don't know, she just made me feel valued. And so, Miss Beach, love you. The next teacher that was, I still have a relationship with her now. Love her to death. Miss McCoy. Miss McCoy was a teacher who became like a mother to me. So I love Miss McCoy. I was a cheerleader in middle school. She was our coach. She would take me to practice. She would pick me up. She would talk to me. She would just be there as another adult in my life. And I really appreciate that because even now she does that. I can tell she's that for so many students. And she was just herself. She never tried to be anything but herself. And I really appreciate that because I think that's so important that we be authentic to our students as teachers and not try to sugarcoat because it comes out anyway. And so she was just always true to herself, and she was a great role model, as most teachers are, but we had a personal relationship because she really had my back, and I will never forget that. I know it was what was your one favorite teacher, but I can't help but to talk about so many more. So, um, the other teacher that I really, really appreciated, she's no longer here, is Mrs. Carter. Mrs. Carter was my science teacher, and she saw something in me. And it wasn't until college that I realized she saw something in me. And I didn't appreciate it when I was in her class, but I remember how she gave me opportunities that no one else would give me. And she just saw something in me. I don't know what she saw in little old me, but but I could tell she did. And she left a legacy before she passed, and she helped me to think about that for my students. What am I showing them? Am I showing that I believe in them? Am I letting them know that? So anyway, Mrs. Carter. And then I had a teacher in high school. He was our show choir teacher, Mr. McGaughy. I don't think he teaches anymore, but he actually had a big impact on my life because through the show choir, I was able to travel a lot. And I'm so appreciative of that. I was able to travel around the world, and well, not around the world, but around the United States. And for me, I didn't have the opportunity to travel that much. And so he showed me that there's life outside of where you're from. And I think I owe that to the opportunities that he gave and his passion. It was his passion for music. And I like taking a trip with kids every single year. Signing up for that every single year is huge. I don't know if I'm ready to handle something like that now, but he did it every single time and he loved it. And now that I'm older, um, I really appreciate that he took the time out. He took the time out to do something for me. He showed me that there was life outside of where I'm from, and that meant the world to me. So yeah, those are my favorite teachers. I don't know. I guess every teacher I remember that being my favorite, I remember they poured into me. I know that, you know, we cross so many paths with our kids, our students, that we really can't, it's hard to pour into everyone, but I just know it reminds me to think about the child and their needs and remember to, you know, a little bit goes a long way. Kind of like the Ron Clark book that I was mentioning earlier. He speaks on that a little bit, but a little goes a long way just for you, for a child to know that you really do care. Question number 9. Who are some of your favorite teacher YouTubers, Instagrammers, Snapchatters, etc.? Okay, so I actually don't have Snapchat, believe it or not. I'm not old, but I just don't have Snapchat. Um, so I don't know about Snapchat. YouTube, I'm new to like the teacher YouTube scene. I didn't realize that there was such a huge thing with teachers in YouTube. So one of the first people who actually got my attention is Pocket Full of Primary. And she just kind of caught my eye, and she kept it real, and she seems pretty honest, and you know, I like her. I also obviously like Too Cool for Middle School. um I think she keeps it real too. And then I really don't watch any other. I'm honestly new to it, so um yeah. And then in terms of Instagram, I'm not into the teach, like, I don't know. So, but there's one who I got really into last year, Miss Fifth. Her classroom like ideologies seem very similar to like what I like to do, and so I follow her a lot. She has some really cool ideas, really great ways to make her classroom interactive, and so I think, no, I think she's one who I also um, like to follow. She's really cool. So yeah, just with YouTube, Pocket Full of Primary, um, genuine. I think it's Genuine Teaching. She's on YouTube. She's really cool. I've watched some of her videos for tips and things like that. And then Too Cool for Middle School, and I'm just new to her channel because of her awesome tag. So thank you. So yeah, those are the people I follow. Just people who have similar methodologies, or even people who can teach me obviously things that are new. So yeah. Question 10. What is one of your best classroom management tips? One of my uh, best tips, I guess, is just to model. So we all know at the beginning of the school year, we spend a lot of time teaching and reteaching routines and reteaching routines. And so what I had a tendency to do was to teach the routine, model the routine, maybe spend the first week and a half doing that, and then not be as explicit with my modeling, but still model, but just not spell it out. And I'm a fourth grade teacher. They're still third graders when they walk in the beginning of the school year. So for me, that's one of the biggest tips that just is going to save me, because I'm getting still working on that, and a work in progress with that. But just modeling, and when it's not, you know, done to your expectation, model again and model again and model again, because that lets students know, in a positive way, hey, this is what my expectations are, and let me show you how to do it so that you know. So yeah, that's probably one of my biggest tips is modeling. And that can cross many things. If they're not sharpening a pencil right, model how to sharpen it right. If they're not lining up correctly, model that. If they're not doing group work to your expectations, then model that. So model. And there's something called an interactive model. That's basically a script that kind of helps me to do it. So I have some of those that I've written out for different procedures, and everything should be modeled, interactively modeled. And so that's just a way that it comes from the responsive classroom methodology. But that's one of my best tips, is just making sure you're modeling, and not just modeling by saying, okay, show me how to do it, modeling productively and giving feedback on the model, and then, you know, having one kid do it, giving them feedback, asking kids what they see when the other child does it, and then having the whole class practice, and then you giving constant feedback, and positive feedback at that. That's probably one of my best tips, is modeling, and modeling positively and modeling often. Question 11. What is one reason you decided to become a teacher? So one reason that I decided to become a teacher is because I can pretty much infuse myself in, I can infuse who I am in teaching. So if I weren't a teacher, I would be in the design field of some sort, but I can do that in my classroom. I can do that with my lessons. I had the autonomy to do that, and that feels great. And so thankfully I'm at a really great school where I have opportunity to try new things in the classroom. And so, I mean, essentially I am a designer. I love working with kids. I love being a role model. And I just want to be what someone was for me. Like, I want to give back that way. And it just feels so good to be a teacher. Like, I can't even tell you. And my friends who aren't teachers, they get sick of me talking about it, but it's just a part of who I am, and it makes me feel so great. I love it. I really do love it. Sure, there are times when it's like, oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into? But actually, the good definitely outweighs the bad. I wouldn't change a thing about the choice that I made. I love teaching. I absolutely love it. So yeah, I just did it because the opportunity to really affect lives, and more than anything, you know, aside from math, aside from science, we have the ability to have a direct impact excuse me, on someone's life in a meaningful way. And that's really it. It's just like the ability to help a child grow for life. That's so powerful, to have the ability. And so that is that's why I did it. I just, the influence and the responsibility that comes with it, which I absolutely love, but that I have the chance to really shape a life. That's why I did it. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. And again, this was a really long-winded welcome to my channel, but in any case, welcome to my channel. You'll be seeing more videos from me on a variety of things that we do as teachers. I am so excited to be starting this YouTube channel and to be taking anyone on this journey with me. And thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.